For nearly a decade, it has been one of the most sought-after recognitions for Georgia technology-enabled organizations. That's right, and for their IT professionals that make the corporate teams who stand behind these outstanding performing companies. The Technology Association of Georgia Excalibur Awards, simply the best companies who have found great ways to use current and oft-times disruptive technology. The result? Competitive advantage. Great Georgia academic, nonprofit, public, and private enterprises as diverse as Kennesaw State University to a Mercedes-Benz dealership in Buckhead, to global giant UPS, to the National Monument Foundation, and more, small, medium, large, and all as unique as the markets where they lead. Along with honoring company IT executives and team members as well as the companies they proudly represent at the Gala Award ceremony, all finalists, winners, and companies receive tremendous exposure to the state, regional, national, and international technology community. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, September 2nd, 2014, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. Is your company using technology to create a competitive advantage, or does your company produce technology that others have utilized in the past year to solve a complex problem? Act now and apply or nominate that company. Deadline is September 12th at 5 p.m. Find out more on this special deadline edition of Tech Talk for Excalibur nominations as Tino speaks with the event keynote speaker, Executive Vice President, and Chief Information Officer for the weather company, Bryson Koehler. Bryson is responsible for setting strategic vision, financial planning, technical operation direction, and execution of strategic technological initiatives for the company, providing millions of people every day with the world's best weather forecast content and data, connecting them through television, online, mobile, and tablet screens, and third-party publishing partners, as well as delivering superior professional weather services for media, aviation, marine, and energy sectors. Discover just how easy it is to become one of this year's nominees with Bryson, a multiple Excalibur Award winner himself, who is uniquely qualified to share the excitement, benefits, and significance of this one-of-a-kind recognition. The 2014 Excalibur Awards, deadline for nominations September 12th, as Tino Tech Talks with featured keynote speaker, multiple Excalibur Award winner, and weather company executive, vice president, and chief information officer, Bryson Koehler. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions.
Bryson, thank you for joining me on Tech Talk today.
Glad to be here. Great time together. I'm looking forward to it.
So let's start out talking about the company itself, because you used to be called the Weather Channel, and I've been, as I guess, a casual observer. You guys are great members of TAG, so sometimes more than casual. Have seen what I would say is a big difference over the last couple of years. Now you're the weather company. Talk about the last 2 years and what changes have happened within the business and why.
Well, we were facing a lot of challenge in the marketplace, quite honestly. TV is an awesome business, and we're really proud of the Weather Channel and love everything that we've ever done with the Weather Channel in its history. But TV, quite honestly, as a segment, as a complete industry, isn't exactly a growth vehicle for massive growth as you look forward over the next decade or so. And I'm not sure there's many TV networks that would probably say, yes, we're so excited about the growth opportunities right. over the next decade. And so we said we really need to make sure that we continue to grow. We believed very much in our mission of having great science around our weather, great storytelling capabilities, great services, and providing great safety. And so, really what we've been doing over the last 2 years is turning ourselves into a big data technology shop. and how do we take all of the great things that we did from a scientific, weather, meteorological standpoint, and how do we turn ourselves into a company that is kind of tech-first, data-driven. We want to monetize our weather data across many screens. And TV is still important, so is web, so is mobile, but so are data APIs, and so are powering third parties. And so, the focus for us over the last several years is really transforming the culture and our capabilities, our core capabilities, to be as capable and as focused on the data technology side of the business as had been on the TV side of the business over the last several decades.
So that's a great segue into what I'm sure our audience would be interested in hearing. So you, in the CIO role over the last couple of years, how have you, I guess, influenced culture, and what sorts of things has the technology division done to support the change?
We have gone through an amazing amount of change from a technology perspective, a capability perspective, and a culture perspective, and it starts with culture. I've been here a little over 2 years, and quite honestly, the team was a little bit, I think, scared of committing and signing up for too much because there had been so much underinvestment in the business for a long period of time in the company's past. And so going from a place where you weren't really fully able to perform at your peak level for a lot of reasons, and then being asked to immediately perform at your peak level, sometimes, that's a little bit daunting. And so building up the confidence of the team to be able to execute and deliver on what we were signing up for was kind of job number one. I knew we had a great team, and I knew we could do it, but we were signing up for things that had not been done for the last 10 to 15 years, relaunching the network, decommissioning the old analog transmission system, relaunching our localization capabilities, building out a new weather forecasting system, moving it to the cloud, building a new data API platform, building a cloud computing complex that would enable us to move down from what was 13 data centers on our mission to get to one. These were big, big projects that we were saying not only are we going to do them, and not only are we going to do them on time and on budget, but we're going to do them inside of less than 2 years. And like I said, some of these were ones that the company had been trying to tackle for a decade or more. And so, building up the confidence of the team and kind of culturally changing the mindset so that people felt comfortable stepping up and attempting big things and not feeling totally frightened of failure, believing in themselves to be able to do it, and feeling excited about being part of a company that wanted to be a technology company, being part of a company that was doing really big compute technologies, building out what is now the world's largest cloud-based data API platform. That's really cool, and the team should be super excited about that, and they are. And so part of that cultural change that you asked about it was really at the core of how we got great things done.
Yeah, so it's really about the culture and then, of course, the technology behind that. I know that you've implemented, as you say, a lot of change over there, and it seems like it's very well aligned with where the company wants to go. So looking forward, what's going to be some of the challenges in the coming years in respect to it keeping pace with what's happening with technology and the industry and the competitive factors, and how are you preparing to fill that role?
So I think the next couple of years we will probably see some of the largest changes and advances in weather forecasting that the weather forecasting community has seen in many decades. And that's not just here at the weather company, but that's really kind of globally at many of the large government institutions like NOAA, where there is so much work, research, and effort going into weather forecasting systems and weather forecasting advancements. And so, when you look at the changes that are coming for us, it's really all about the data. Powering, in the coming years, powering over 1 billion devices, phones around the world. That is big data, both on a volume and scale perspective, but also on our ability to integrate and understand the people's lives that we're connecting to, and helping keeping them, safe, and helping provide better actionable insights into how the weather is going to impact their life. But the data analytics side to our future is probably one of the most exciting. The data scientists, the folks that we need to have help us look at all of the data and help us get those great insights. And that can be on the weather forecast itself, which is more and more data comes in. We all see the rise of machine to machine and kind of the internet of everything. And as we have more data types available to bring in, how do we find out the ones that are the most valuable, and how do we find the ones that are going to move the needle the most in terms of a more accurate weather forecast? And how do we understand how we make our weather forecasts not just more accurate, but also more useful, right? So there's a difference between having an accurate weather forecast and a useful weather forecast. And so, if you ask my wife, she would tell you that she really wants a useful weather forecast, and useful to her is explaining whether or not one of our children are going to have their soccer practice this evening, right? That's useful. And so you can be accurate all day long, but if it's not useful, it may not be, something that you create a habitual reuse on. And so that is really going to be the work of a lot of really smart data scientists who can take all of this data and all of the new data types that are going to be coming available and help us sift through it, find those insights, and help us make and improve our products to become ever better. So if I look towards the future, obviously the computing changes are going to be great, the Internet of Everything and machine-to-machine communications, that's all great. But at the end, it's going to come down to those data scientists who are going to really, have some of the most challenging, fun, and daunting, jobs of the coming, couple of years to help us get those insights.
So before I let you go, we need to talk a little bit about Excalibur. I appreciate you being the keynote speaker. And Excalibur is all about, for our listeners that may not know Excalibur, most of them do, but using technology to differentiate your business, create ROI, solve complex problems. And you've certainly lived that for the last couple of years. So any particular messaging that you're going to be focused on for your presentation? We've got a little bit of time, so.
Well, I think the Excalibur Awards are just phenomenal. Now, I'm a little bit biased because I am the proud recipient of two awards in my 18 years here as part of the Atlanta technology community, and I've always just been blessed to have amazing teams and and amazing challenges to tackle. And so, I can tell you firsthand how much pride it brings to a team to, receive that recognition as a group for all of the hard work that everybody did in whatever the kind of innovation or creativity or product that was developed. And so I think there's a big piece of pride, as there should be, for winning awards and being recognized in the community. So I just, first think and want to thank TAG for, championing something like the Excalibur Awards, because I think it makes the Atlanta technology community, second to none in the country in terms of how we, operate as a kind of collegiate body almost in the work that we do as a overall Atlanta tech scene. So I think it's great. I'm super excited about it. My talk is going to focus mostly around the types of cultural change that CIOs and leaders, CTOs, whatever leader you are inside of your organization from a technology perspective, how do you inspire innovation. Innovation is not a title. Innovation is not something you put on somebody's business card and check it off the list. Innovation has to come as part of kind of a cultural movement inside of an organization. And, it's easy to start innovation if you're a startup and it's, two people in a garage somewhere. You're kind of innovating out of sheer necessity. But as you grow up and you have bigger and bigger companies and larger organizations, sometimes it's harder to get innovation going again. And, we're all competing against the startups to some degree. There probably won't be more than a handful of companies in the room that don't have some sort of West Coast, Bay Area, startup nipping at them at some area or, corner of their business. And so, I think when you look out at our, kind of Atlanta tech scene, finding a way to make sure that we out-innovate, the competition is kind of job number one. And so, to me, the spirit of the Excalibur Awards is great innovation and great things that happen inside of, local tech teams. And so I think finding those nuggets of similarity around what makes a tech team great and what enables them to be empowered to do innovative things, those are great lessons for us all to learn from. And, I have a concept that I use called IT Live, which is all around my love for music and my love for live music over pre-recorded music. And so I won't give away the whole speech, but I will say that if you love music and you love live music, the tricks and the tips to get your team to perform more like a live band on stage versus kind of the pre-recorded band that had all the time in the world to get the mix right behind the scenes, that's really what separates the good from the great in the world of IT. And so that's what the talk will focus on, and hopefully will inspire even more great innovation leaders for the next Excalibur Awards over the coming years.
Well, thanks, Bryson. Thanks for being a leader in the community and for putting that final plug in. I think people should be excited about the October 24th Excalibur Awards, which are actually moving to the Georgia Aquarium this year, so morning breakfast, and we'll have people out of there by 10 o'clock. So sign up at tagonline.org. And Bryson, thanks for joining me on Tech Talk today.
Tino, thanks for your time. Thanks for having me. And everyone, I look forward to seeing you at the Excalibur Awards, and come cheer on the local great technology teams that are powering Atlanta's technology community forward. Thanks so much.